All right, let's talk about. So there's a few titles to this. I'm gonna call it Godzilla vs. Mothra, which I think is the original Japanese title. I could be wrong. I keep forgetting which one is the actual title, but no matter. On here, which is my bootleg, is Godzilla and Mothra: The Battle for Earth. Again, I have a boot. This is the last of the Heisei era bootlegs, just because, unfortunately, I can't get this for a price other than like £100. So I bought a bootleg because I wanted to have it as part of my collection, but unfortunately, I can't get a legitimate copy, which is a shame because I'd like to own them, but oh well, it is what it is. So yeah, this is Godzilla vs. Mothra. So we start off with like mostly a human plot. We have like our own Indiana Jones type character, Tomb Raider, gets caught, gets bailed out by his ex-wife, who is also the mother of his child, who he kind of abandoned. Apparently he's not that good of a father. They eventually they kind of reconcile their relationship, but it's kind of a bit of a back and forth between those two characters. We also have another guy who's like, "Hello, I am also here. Hello." It's just like, oh, they just also have this other guy who's, it's like, oh no, this is bad. If this is a horror film, you'd be fucking dead. It's like, oh, I'm with the couple and me. Oh no. But they're basically. I can't remember if it is the egg is like a meteorite. So in the original Mothra vs. Godzilla, it's just like a big old egg of Mothra. This I think came from the sky. I think Mothra is from space. That's right, maybe. Let's say yes. So we have Mothra in egg form. Who basically they eventually end up taking it from the island, as well as we have the twins back. The twins are always with Mothra, who are just there to speak for Mothra, because Mothra technically has a voice, but through these twins who instill. Basically, let us know what the hell is going on with Mothra. There's a lot of human plot in this movie, which I'm always like, I'm just not a big fan of most of the human plot. There's a lot of it going on here. Like, there's not that much. There's some kaiju action, but there's a lot more human plot. And I wasn't a fan, like most of the human plot. So yeah, they take the egg. Godzilla's pissed at the egg. I can't remember if it's the egg that was Batra or if it was the egg that. I think the egg was already in the ground. It's Batra that came from the sky. That's right. I'm remembering it a bit more now. I think someone can correct me. It doesn't matter. Batra. He's kind of in a larvae form, but like a more distinct larvae form than Mothra normally is. Mothra's larvae form is just like, I am worm, kind of worm larvae form. Whereas Batra's one looks more like Batra, just without, the wings and all that stuff. It's very distinctly, oh, that's Batra. So you're like, oh, yeah. No, that's definitely Batra. So, yeah, Godzilla's still kind of evil, like as in this era. He's kind of like, fuck this egg, because he doesn't like the egg for some reason. Keeps attacking Mothra and Batra, who will eventually end up teaming up against Godzilla to just drop him in the fucking ocean. They kind of put aside their differences against Godzilla, because fuck Godzilla. Well, the twins get kidnapped again, which is basically very much taken away from the original Mothra vs. Godzilla film. Yes, don't confuse this film, which is Godzilla vs. Mothra, with Mothra vs. Godzilla from the 60s. Yes, it does get confusing, especially when I search for it, because it doesn't always bring up the right film. But they eventually get given back, because Mothra kind of goes on a bit of a rampage, as he's wont to do, just kind of, even in larvae form, just kind of wreck stuff. Yeah, it's I just don't. It's one of these ones where it's like very much the human plot is always hit or miss with me, and I feel like this one is mostly miss. Like, I don't know. Maybe it should have focused more on the couple and less on everyone else. Just, I don't know. There's a lot of other characters in my. I've forgotten who you guys are. There's a lot of like army-based stuff, people reacting to stuff, and you're like, well, does it really need this? Do we really need this? Any of this in the film? Not really. You guys don't really do shit, and this film doesn't even have like a Super X or a Mechagodzilla or anything. Yeah, and they're not really attacking with anything good or cool. Like, they're just tanks and all the basic shit. So even in that aspect, you're like, well, why are we paying attention to these humans? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, mate. I don't give a shit. Yeah. Ultimately, I it's sad because I love Mothra. Mothra looks so cool. Looks so fluffy. I want to hug Mothra. Mothra is so fluffy. There's definitely a few things that kind of are references to the original Mothra vs. Godzilla. And just using a lot of that lore that was established in that film, and then also the original Mothra film. But then the big reference is like right at the end where Mothra is kind of hanging out at the airport in a reference to the original Mothra film. I can't remember if it's Mothra or Mothra vs. Godzilla. Like, they're kind of a little bit blur in my head. Yeah, Mothra breaks out of a cocoon that was attached to the Diet Building, which is the Japan Parliament building, and then kind of Mothra and Batra kind of fight a bit, and then eventually put away their differences to go after Godzilla. It just always one of these things where I'm like, why? Like, they're supposed to be like, Mothra's supposed to be the embodiment of good, and Batra's supposed to be embodiment of like an evil type thing, and then I guess you need a little bit of good and evil in your life. But yeah, they I don't know. It's one of these things. It's like, why is it? It almost seems like, why is Godzilla here? Ultimately, like it almost doesn't feel like it's a Godzilla film. In some ways, where I'm like, do we even like Godzilla's not even really necessary? Almost, I feel like it's almost like they were doing like a Mothra's own film, and then they were like, nah, mate, we got to throw Godzilla in there. Godzilla's got to be in there. It's like, oh, I guess Godzilla's got to be a threat. It just feels like, it almost feels like Godzilla is like a supporting character in his own film. It's supposed to be the Godzilla series, and his name comes up first. Somehow, he seems to be a supporting character in his own film. It's one of those things. I'm like, do I like it? There's some good kaiju plots, but there's way too much human plots. I'm like, meh. And then Mothra goes into space for some reason, because Mothra's from space and Batra's from space. I guess. I don't know. There's a lot of plot points in this film. I'm like, okay. No, but yeah, like I said, Godzilla's kind of extra in his own film. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling a bit at this point. Should you watch it? Yeah, if you want to. Like, I love Mothra. Mothra looks great. Mothra looks great. Batra looks evil as fuck, even though I guess you shouldn't judge a book by its You shouldn't judge a book by its cover, I guess, with Batra. Yeah, it's a good one, but it's one of those things where I'm like, where do I put it? Like, I'm kind of like, in my head, I'm like, it's like a 5 or a 6 type film. Like, I think it's more average to good than it is to average to bad, or just average. So I put it in more of a, if I'm rating this, I'd put it like a 6 or 6.5 maybe. Yeah, that's Godzilla versus Mothra. Not my favorite. But next up, next film in the list is this one. Now we're on like the official ones. These are official ones. So we're doing this film right here, Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla 2. So we'll talk about that next week. Bye.